Hey guys, it's Lan Harrod here and welcome to episode 16 of my F1 2016 career mode. And today here, we're at one of the most unpredictable tracks in weather terms in Malaysia here. And after winning last time in Singapore, which was an absolutely amazing achievement, I think that hopefully we can get in for a good race and maybe even get a third podium in a row. So let's get into it. And here in the research and development area, we've got 575 resource points. Hopefully we'll be able to get enough to upgrade something soon. So let's get into practice one.
This weekend we're at Kuala Lumpur for the Malaysia Grand Prix, and we're starting off with today's practice session. So sit back, relax and enjoy the action. I'm here with Anthony Davidson once again. Nice to see you, Ant, and I wanted to ask you about how you go about improving the car over the course of a practice session. How much would you say is already known from the pre-race simulations, and how much do you have to do, how much do you have to work on with a real car on a real circuit?
Well, that's a good question, Crofty, and I suppose the simple answer is that there's no such thing as too much information. As you say, the bigger teams have very complex simulations, vast numbers of clever people crunching the numbers back at base, but what they can't tell you is stuff like how the track condition's going to be, or what the temperature's going to be doing over the course of the day, and how all of that's going to be interacting with the tyre. There are so many millions of tiny variables involved in getting these cars around a racetrack quickly, but the computer can't tailor the car to a driver's specific balance requirements. At some point, you still need to put a human being in there and have them feel it through the seat of their pants. And that's why we end up with different drivers having different setups. So what I'm trying to say is, Crofty, nothing beats on-track testing.
Here in practice one, looking at all the weather, we can see that it's pretty much a dry weekend, apart from qualifying where it starts raining and P2 where it's going to be raining heavily. So we're going to start out by doing track acclimatization as usual, and now coming through the final corner here on our first lap. It's been okay because as we can see, we get a lot of greens for some reason, and I don't really know why, but we're going to keep on going anyway onto our second lap and maybe try to get a better lap essentially. As you can see, it's a lot better, but we still don't get the maximum amount of resource points we can get. We're on our third lap here, our final lap. You can see we've missed one gate, so that really don't work, and so yeah, we don't get enough. But we did get some resource points, which isn't bad. But here we go on to the hardest part here, and this is qualifying pace. But on qualifying pace it's fine, but if you make one mistake here, or if you're slow through like one set of corners here, it messes you up so much. Like, I was so far down there, look, I'm 40 something seconds, not seconds, behind. But so I just stopped, so let's get into qualifying.
Welcome to F1. It's now time for the important stuff. Time for qualifying here at the Malaysia Grand Prix. In recent seasons, much talk has been made about tyre wear. Some say it gets in the way of the racing, others say it's always been part of the sport. Are we going to see drivers trying to look after their tyres here, or throw caution to the wind and worry about that when it becomes a problem?
Tyre wear will probably be the dominating factor around this track. It's so easy to use up the life in your tyres as you seek to find the lap time. If you have a good balance to begin with, like the Mercedes and Red Bull, you'll always stand a better chance.
As I said, it's going to be raining pretty early into qualifying here, so I think we've got to get out on the track quickly before it starts to rain. No one's on the track at the moment, so we're going to go out really quickly and try to set the best lap. And coming through the final sector here, we can see a DRS is disabled, and we can see rain coming down on the screen already. And Daniel Ricciardo is ahead, and we're catching him at a pretty fast pace here. And I didn't set any of the fastest lap times, but because it was a bit scrappy, because I had to try to throw the car around on limited grip, because obviously we've got our out lap to do. But in the grand scheme of things, I think it would be somewhat of a good enough time. We can see people still in the pits for some reason, and a lot of those are right by the pit entry as we go slowly through the final corner. So it seems that some of the more bigger teams aren't actually going out. As we come across the line, we go up in 7th place, but we're faster than Ricardo, essentially, and we finished in 10th place, 2 places behind our teammate, and behind Kevin Magnussen. But we are ahead of Hamilton, Raikkonen, Ricardo, Vettel, and Verstappen. So let's get into the race and hopefully move up some positions.
The inaugural race in 1999 was the last of 4 Grand Prix victories for Northern Ireland's Eddie Irvine. I wonder who'll be adding their name to that history today. 5 lefts and 10 rights make up the 15 corners of Sepang's 3.4-mile circuit, a track where the weather always threatens to play a deciding factor. The drivers will be subjected to forces in excess of 4G and heavy braking zones in 4 of these corners, 2 of which come at the end of DRS zones into turn 1 and to turn 15. And alongside me today to talk you through all that is Anthony Davidson. And welcome again. It's good to be back in Kuala Lumpur, isn't it? A lovely country, Malaysia, lovely circuit, and a race that tends to be quite hard to predict.
Yeah, it does indeed. There are a lot of high-energy corners that make the rear tyres suffer around here. Coupled with the excessive heat, that makes it difficult to keep your tyres in the right operating window. And of course, in previous years, we've come here very early in the season, which throws a potential reliability variable in there as well.
Your objective today is to get into the top 9.
So here we are on the grid for the Malaysian Grand Prix. I think it's going to be a pretty simple strategy here. Soft to hard tyres, so we won't have as much tyre wear as we would going on soft to mediums. And we're going to put some more fuel in the car so we can burn that off on a soft period, which that usually worked to help us become faster at the start of the race. So we're going to go onto the grid here and get to optimum revs per minute and put it up to the rich mix. So we go to 5 red lights and it's away we go for the Malaysian Grand Prix here. Magnussen gets a shock of a start and Sainz doesn't actually get a bad start this time, as we're just going to get in slipstream with Grosjean and try to go down in the inside of a whole host of cars here. As Haryanto is going to get really squeezed out here as Button makes contact with them as we take evasive action there as we get past both of them, but Button tries to keep down our inside, but we get on the curb and keep on the outside as we get up into 5th place by the first corner. But here on the end of lap 1, we get up into 4th place as Perez went wide, and now we overtake Gutierrez here, so a really good move. And now we're going to get into the slipstream of Alonso here, maybe take 2 places in the space of a corner and 2 straights, as we try to duck down the inside and try to hit the apex of the corner here. We might go a bit wide because the braking zone is really hard to hit, but we get up into 2nd place. Here now on lap 3 we go wide around the final corner, and we have to leave Alonso space, but he pushes us onto the grass, so then we lose traction against Sainz, which isn't very good. And now Perez is going to try and come down the outside here, but it doesn't work. But we're going to brake later than Sainz and try to go back down his inside here. We were getting a legal overtake because for some reason there was a yellow flag. We're just going to try to stick it around the outside and wait till green, and it's green now, so we're going to try to have, it's going to be somewhere in the braking zones as we take the better apex here, as we get very close to him, as we're going to brake late and just hit the apex and squeeze our teammate out there as we get back up into 3rd place here on lap 4. But now on here on lap 4, we're going to come into the pits. Obviously we've got priority as we go a bit wide there coming into the pit entry. But we've got priority, so we're going to get into the pits here. I doubt we've actually lost time now here to Alonso, and which isn't good because we went wide on the pit entry. And I think I just kind of lost the back end there, tried to go too fast coming into the pits, which is a bit ironic, honestly. We're not a bad pit stop for 2.4, as we're going to come out behind Alonso, but we come out ahead of Haryanto. We're going on another set of softs, so he's going on a more aggressive strategy here. And right as we come out of the pits here, or as I turn through the corners, DRS is disabled and the VSC is issued, and I don't know why, but I think somebody might have retired, or it might have been a bit of a crash, because there's somebody right down the back stretch.
Your safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until the green flag. VSC ending. Wait for green.
I really could have caught up to Alonso
Slow down.
there.
Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
Considering he's in the Mercedes. But now on lap 8 here, it's taking us a few laps to catch up back to Alonso here, and we get really good traction coming out turn 2, and so we're going to get on the racing line and stay in the slipstream with Alonso. And our superior straight line speed of the Ferrari engine versus the Honda makes us really fast in the straight line as we dive down the inside as we get up into pretty much net 5th place, 2nd place here. And in 2nd place here, it'll take a long time for anyone else to catch up for us as we've got more speed in these hard tyres. But it's our teammate now who's challenging for the podium, and Alonso's behind us as well, so he might nab one. But we're just going to defend. We're coming on to the end of the final lap here. Sainz got DRS, and as Nico Rosberg wins the Grand Prix, as I said, we're just going to go defensive, keep the inside line, and maybe try to get 2nd place here. We're just going to squeeze them out. Maybe get on the curb, but no, we get better traction as he loses time as we're seeing well. And I think Sainz just gets 2nd place there. Yeah, he doesn't get overtaken. He's looking in the mirrors. So that is a brilliant 2nd place here in Malaysia.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix. Keeping up in
So obviously a really
They've
good
extended
race
their
here
lead
today.
at the top of the
I mean,
standings.
coming up from 10th
Meanwhile,
place,
Toro
I'm
Rosso's
really
strong
good with that.
weekend
And
allows
Jenson
them to
Button
continue their march up the
starting
table.
second,
Well, what a
finished
weekend
way
that
down
has been.
in
Please join
18th
us
or
next time
19th
for
place,
another thrilling
which is really
instalment
weird.
of this
But
Formula One
crucially,
season.
none of our rivals really finished anywhere near us, as we got a 2nd place. And I'm really happy with that, honestly. I think qualifying could have gone a bit better, and results points could have gone a bit better. But you know what? I'll take 2nd place, and I think we should have a team update back in HQ.
Hi, Emma here. I had a sit down with the executives today to talk about your progress. Long story short, they're happy. Keep it up.
So obviously we're back in HQ here, and we did have a team update, so the team are pretty happy with us. So I think we're going to be pretty near a promotion. It'll either be at the end of the season or at the next race in Japan. But we don't have enough resource points to upgrade front wing cascades, to upgrade downforce, and really complete the set, which I said at the start of the career mode. And so hopefully we can get that in Japan, but who knows, it might not actually be there for the upgrade. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you later.